Good morning to you all. Today, the talk is about what is branding and how you can brand your business successfully. But what does branding mean? And what is the difference between marketing and branding? If I have a logo, isn't that enough? In a moment, we'll look into all of that. But first, some very interesting facts. What do you think is the oldest brand in South Africa? Branding started in South Africa as far back as 1682. Blauw Klippen was the first brand that was first product and business that was recognized as a brand in South Africa. And Blauw Klippen was followed by three other brands of wine just a mere 3 years later. Groot Constantia, Boschendal, and Vergelegen. Now, they're all still very much going on and carrying on and in business. And you can actually find those wines on the shelves. To me, it says a lot about competition and rivalry. And then for the next 1.5 centuries, nothing until F&B came along. And isn't that interesting? The oldest brands in South Africa belongs to wine producers. Another interesting fact is that Pinotage cultivar is a true South African product. Nowhere else in the world do they produce Pinotage wine because the temperature and the climate just won't allow it. Pinotage is a grape variety that was created in South Africa in 1924 by Abram Isaac Perrault, the first professor of viticulture at Stellenbosch University. Now, if you're so lucky to travel overseas, and you find a bottle of Pinotage wine in a fancy restaurant or a corner cafe, you can be absolutely bloody sure that bottle has been imported from South Africa. You should check the label. Now, FNB is the oldest bank in South Africa and can be traced back to the Eastern Province Bank, which was formed in Grahamstown in 1838. Old Mutual was established in Cape Town in 1845 as South Africa's first mutual life assurance society. In 1927, Old Mutual expanded to Rhodesia. It's now called Zimbabwe. The company was founded by John Fairbairn as a mutual insurance company under the name of the Mutual Life Assurance Society of the Cape of Good Hope. In the year 1846, Joseph Mossop and John Coton started a leather tanning business after Joseph bought and developed the Liesbeek Rondebosch River site. He thought it would be a good idea to be right there on the riverbank to service the passing trade that was on its way up to the mines in the central and northern parts of the country. Mossop Leather today is situated in Wellington, South Africa. All these businesses still exist, and we can call them by name and identify them from their logos because they are really strong brands. Now, Coca-Cola is not a homegrown brand, but it is the 5th best known brand in the world. Number 4, Microsoft. 3rd place, McDonald's. 2nd place is Google. And first, the best known brand in the world, you guessed it, Apple. Now, there are more brands that you and I grew up with, and that includes Pepsi. In 1902, they were founded. Ford, 1903. Harley-Davidson, since 1907. A brand that made headlines in the last 2 weeks is Pick n Pay, that was founded in 1967. The founder, Raymond Ackerman, passed away 2 weeks ago at the age of 92. And another brand that's making serious headlines, thanks to the Springboks away jerseys, is Checkers. Yes, their latest branded service, 6060. Now, why is branding so important? Because consumers trust brands that they know. Brands are in the minds of consumers, of people. We create emotional connections with the type of brands that we prefer. Think about the car or the bike or the truck you're driving, the food you eat, your phone, or even the sports team you support. your brand of drink on a Saturday, or your kind of fancy, the luxury things that makes you feel like $1,000,000. Now, there are different aspects to a brand. A brand has a physical aspect, a personal touch aspect, and a psychological aspect to it. Now, the physical aspect includes things that you can see: the name of the brand, the logo, the design of the logo. Is it a box shape, a stick figure? Is it glowing? Is it a round shape? Is it small font with a big shape? Or is it only letters? Or is it only an image? Things like that. The colors that you use forms part of your physical aspect of the brand. The packaging of the product, the shape of the bottle or the box. Does it come in a bag? What type of bag? And then the shape of it. Think about the different shapes of wine bottles, for instance. And then, of course, the actual product itself. The personal touch aspect of a brand has got to do with the overall attitude of the company towards their employees, which in turn determine the attitude of employees towards the customer or the consumer or then the client. General behavior also influence the perception of the brand and the brand name. Have you recently had a bad experience with a company where the behavior of the staff made you feel uncomfortable, unliked, annoyed, or plain angry? Then the body language of the employees and staff members. Now, I think I told you on a previous occasion about this one shop in town where I say, where the till girl is extremely rude and disrespectful. It is a dreadful experience to buy from that shop. I totally hate going there. And sometimes I must buy from them because they are the only shop in town that sells what I'm looking for. I'm at the point where I would rather go without until I need to travel outside of town, and then I'll buy from their competitor. Body language, behavior, and attitude are extremely important in the minds of the consumer. It will make or break your brand, and it will influence the sustainability of your business and whether it grows or not. Your connection with a customer also falls under the personal touch aspect. It is the type of connection or customer relationship that you have with a customer. The psychological aspect of the brand has got to do with how your brand makes the customer feel, the experience they're getting from your services, and the products they buy from you. It's also the unique concepts and ideas that you are bringing to the market, that brilliant way of how you conduct your service. So, what then is the definition of a brand? According to Investopedia, a brand is a name, a symbol, or other marker that businesses use to distinguish their products from that of their competition and to foster a public identity. Branding is the art or science of influencing the consumer's perception about a product, a service, or an organization or a business. At the end of the day, your brand will help your customer to buy from you. Now, that is if you can establish your brand as a great service or a product or a business. So, what then is the difference between branding and marketing? Now, you take your brand to the market when you do marketing. Your brand is the very thing that you are selling. Your excellent service, your brilliant product, that personal touch of the attitude and the behavior and the body language by which you are offering your services and products. And it's the way you make your customers feel, the experience you're selling, and those wonderful concepts and ideas that is unique to your business and your offering. Marketing is the activity of showcasing your brand, telling people that you exist and what problem you are solving for them. Now, let me quickly take you through the different types of brands. So, Coca-Cola and Dragon, Castle Lager, those are all product brands. Then Outsurance or F&B, they're delivering a service. That would be a service brand. It would be something that you would also establish as a plumber, is a service brand. And then you get the Sunshine Tours or the URC Rugby Champs or the World Champs. That is events brands. And then the team, the Springboks logo, the Springboks team, the Manchester United, those are geographical branding, which means it is linked to a geographical area. Then you get like something like a media brand, which is BBC News or SABC News. That would be a media brand. Then Google and Facebook would classify as a corporate brand. And then you get something e-brand, which is something that happened recently in the last 10 or 15 years, which is where a business is selling online and only online, like Amazon and Takealot. That would be an e-brand. And then retail brand would be the chain stores, the Walmarts and the Pick n Pays and the Spars. So now that you know the different types of brands, let's talk about the steps to create and develop your business brand. First, understand what you are selling, your products and your services. Define it properly. Just to say, I do plumbing is not specific enough. It is too generic, and you cannot really brand generic. Know your customer. Know who they are. What market are you targeting your services into? Then identify who is your competition, your rivals. There might be more than one or two. Make sure you do your research and stay on top of it. Think geographical, but also think what you are offering, what type of product, what type of service exactly are you offering, and then find those rivals that your customer could potentially also buy from instead of buying from you, and because you want to know who they are and what they do and how they do it. Then you analyze your own offering. What makes you unique? Is it a lightning fast turnaround time? Is it excellent aftercare service? If you don't have any uniqueness at the moment, then start thinking outside the box. Look at what clients are complaining about and find a solution that would make you unique and competitive to your rivals. Next is to decide on your brand's tone, the look and feel. Are you happy chappies and you want to bring in a little playfulness in your logo? Or are you very corporate and you want to go with that look and feel? Only then you create your logo. You might have one already, but perhaps you want to change it to fit your new look and feel. The next step is to decide what is your message to the world out there. That one-liner or slogan that people will remember. Coca-Cola is open happiness. F&B is how can we help you? Audi is voorsprong deur techniek. I saw another one from a plumber saying, we will repair what your husband fixed. It's a good one, but it's taken, sorry. You will have to think of something unique for your own business. And then you have to remember that building your brand starts with you, your interaction with your team and your customers. So then, what makes a great brand? How do you turn your business into a great brand? You build brand value. And you do that when you are consistent with quality service. Find ways how you can bring in value-added service. It means to go above and beyond what your customer is expecting from a service provider like yourself. A great aftercare service could be a value-added service. It is not offered by all plumbing services. Then your service to your clients must be excellent. It is excellent when you respond quickly to a call out. Continuously ask for feedback from your clients. Don't be shy to educate your clients and share your knowledge. People value that highly. Then make sure your team is trained properly. Do refresher courses every now and then. Let them learn about new technology and products on the market. And then please make any interaction that the client might have with you or want to have with you user-friendly. It must be super easy to get hold of you, to call you, or WhatsApp you, or email you. Your website must be easy to use. Now, all of this info is not necessarily new to any one of you. We have discussed most of the elements of branding throughout the different business topics on our Business 101 program. And please take the time to go back to the IOPSA channel and listen again to all the various presentations on business, how to make your business more sustainable, profitable, and productive. If you have implemented some of these actions already, you can very easily put together a strong brand. Take time to go back to the steps of creating brand and tick off what you've done already and get busy on what you still need to do to create your brand. Then make sure you add value for your clients through all your products and services. That will build your brand value and will help your customers to make the decision to buy from you, to seek out your services ahead from your competition. So I'm just going to quickly go back to this slide that is telling you how to create a brand. And I want to, let's just stand there for a second. I don't know if there's anybody who's got any questions on how to create a brand. But you have to understand that having a logo only is not going to do it. Part of that whole look and feel, or part of the whole image of who you are, is also locked into how you interact with your customers, how you make them feel. I sound like a broken record because I always say it is the experience you're selling and the problem you're solving. And all of that, it becomes your brand. So you have to be very mindful and you have to be intentional about your dealings with your customers, but it starts with how you deal with your employees, how you train them, how you make them understand what you are actually selling. You might think that you are just fixing a pipe or you're just making installations, but it's a lot more than that. And most of these brands that we're discussing are brands that is directly to the last user or the consumer. But some of you might have businesses as your clients. And they also are very mindful of the brand, of how you make them feel, the type of service, the type of quality deliverance that you're bringing to the table. So take this list, make sure you tick off everything, understand really well what you are selling, because it really starts there. And then knowing the customer, identifying who's your best competition, your rivals, and then understanding what makes you and your business unique. Then you decide on what's the look and feel you're after, and then adjust your logo to fit that. So you'll find that over the years, F&B has changed their logo, and there's a whole lot of other brands that you can think of that has changed their logos. I mean, even Checkers and Pick n Pay has changed their logos. KFC have changed their logo over the years. A logo can change, but you still have to keep certain elements, keep the color, or keep the font of the writing, or keep something that would still connect them to your brand. And then having an updated logo actually is refreshing. It's interesting. People want to look at that and get a feel for that. Yes. So are there any questions?
There currently aren't any questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do, please just pop them in. But thank you very much for joining us this morning, Lemma, and sharing all of this. Is there any last remarks you have before we end off the session?
I really just want to remind them again, please, you're more than welcome to just give me a call or send me a WhatsApp or an email. And if you have any questions, really feel free to make contact, and I will give you the best advice I can.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for also joining us this morning.